Retail leasing, this is what it's all about. Florida Retail Summit and educating newbies and students about what it's all about to do leasing in our industry. I'm proud to introduce two of my favorite people in this industry, Carl Brinkman and Mike Moberman, who are about to engage in our very first leasing symposium. And we have students from FIU. We've got seasoned professionals. We've got a student from Palm Beach State. And I thank you all for coming. And sorry you didn't miss this one. But it'll be on our YouTube channel at some point.
So good afternoon, everybody. I think some of you actually listened to me speak at the Technology Symposium before. You either listen to me again, but I'm looking at the Landlord Symposium. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Carl Brinkman. I used to work for Weingarten Realty, a publicly traded REIT. I've got 25 years of commercial real estate experience. Working for multi-billion-dollar REITs, I kind of grew myself up from being a property manager to leasing, all the way up the corporate ladder to vice president, director of leasing for Weingarten Realty before they merged with PIMCO, and I joined REIT Square. So that's an introduction about myself, and we have
Mike Moberman. Started off in the industry working for a real estate attorney, and then quickly transferred over to Staubach, which is now SRS Real Estate Partners. Did some brokerage for them for a few years. Then I joined Woodwright Development, where I kind of had a cushy job like Carl had, and benefits and salary for almost 8 years. Then left there with KC for about a year, and about 2 years ago, with Laura Briggle and another partner of mine, we started Forefront Commercial. We're a full service brokerage firm. We do tenant rep, landlord rep, and development consulting for developers in South Florida. We pretty much handle all the way up to pretty much Venice on the west coast of Florida and up to the Treasure Coast on the east coast of Florida. But we do some tenant rep or the master broker for a few accounts across the country. Techie, which is in the crowd here today, sell repair company, and recently started opening up a little cafes. But Carl and I kind of go back and forth and talk about the benefits of both sides and answer any questions you guys have. Just get an idea of who's here. Is everybody here in the commercial real estate industry? I'm assuming. Okay. Anybody looking to get into the industry that's not?
Are you guys studying real estate by chance?
Some of us, yeah, some of us now.
Okay.
I'm in psychology and business analytics, but looking to get my master's in international real estate. So,
Great.
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to shadow any of the guys in my office or whatever, you get a card from me here from Laura behind you. You guys are welcome to come in. So,
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody here that's got a year or two of experience, less than 3 years, been in business for a little bit?
I would say someone like this.
All right. So you said business. What out of you guys? What do you guys? What part of the industry do you know what you want to get into? Or
I'm hoping to get into development, like acquisitions.
Acquisitions or asset management?
that was my goal when I got in business in 08. Actually went and got my master's in real estate development at Nova, and the market tanked. And nobody was building anything, and that's actually how I got into brokerage. I wanted to be a developer, and my dad had been in the GC business since I was little, and but it changed a little bit. But it was good experience. Carl?
Sure. If you're trying to get into like acquisitions and developments like that, acquisitions is difficult, but you get to learn a lot of stuff about it, right? You get to understand kind of boots on the ground. My suggestion would be to kind of maybe start into like a leasing role to kind of get an understanding as to what it takes, and then you're going to be able to see exactly when you're buying shopping centers how it all kind of fits together. Like I started in property management, liking it, I kind of see everything kind of going towards leasing. So working for a landlord is pretty simple, right? You guys get a salary. Versus working for a broker, it's you kill pretty much. So working for a salary, well, a landlord, you also get some benefits too. right? Medical, dental insurance, they provide and so forth. Some have 401k, some don't. But you're kind of realizing, I'm going to be fit inside my salary, what I'm going to be able to make is kind of in this range. And the thing I like working for a landlord is, I get a job, I get salary, they train you, I get benefits, and on top of that, if you do your job and you actually do what you're supposed to be doing is lease space, wow, you get a bonus too. I'm like, holy shit, I wish I would have known this a long time ago, right? This is kind of a cool gig, right? I do my job and I get a bonus for doing my job. Kudos to everybody else. But kind of looking at it, you're going to get your annual salaries and so forth. So I always kind of say is, you know, here's bottom, here's the top. You're kind of looking this way when we're for a landlord. Your city increases as you go through it. The only way you're going to be able to jump up that ladder is to prove yourself, right? Prove that you actually want to learn more about commercial real estate. Get into an acquisition role. Get into a developer role. But in the acquisition roles, you know, if it's hot right now, I mean, who's in acquisition? Who does acquisitions in here? Anybody? Is it hot right now or is it cold?
Depends on what side of the fence you want.
Okay. Are people buying stuff right now?
It's tough.
It's tough. How wide is it tough?
There's a lot of competition.
Lots of competition out there. But if you actually have a buyer willing to buy something, it's hot. What happens when there's a downturn in the economy?
Yeah.
What happens?
It's cold.
It's cold. What do you mean it's cold? That they're not buying anything?
I mean, there's more opportunities, but it's a lot more what I would call just too much to the point where for the seller, it's cold for them, but the buyers all day like, yes, I want this, I want to charity.
So kind of looking back for Weingarten Realty, I got to tell you, I was there for 15 years. I knew 4 acquisition people for the company. When we're buying, things are great. When we're not buying, why do I need this person, right? So if you're wearing multiple hats, hey, instead of saying goodbye to me, let me do leasing, let me do dispositions, let me do all this stuff too. So what I'm saying is learn different facets. Don't put yourself kind of in that one area of expertise. Learn a bunch of different developments. You know, how do you move up in an organization? Anybody have any idea how you move up in an organization?
Work hard.
Work hard. My dad used to always say, you should be the first one in, last one out. And I said, why? And he said, because you got to be able to prove to them that you're the best. You're there early in the morning and leaving up late at night. And I said, why would I want to do that? I'd rather work smart than hard, right? So I want to work smart and kind of realize, and someone used to always tell me, would you rather have $1 million right now or 1 million friends? Who wants $1 million in their pocket right now? Who wants 1 million friends? 1 million friends can outweigh what friend wouldn't give me $5? Right? So now I got $5 million and I also have 1 million friends. This is all about the business of learning from different people, right? So you want to be able to talk to people, learn their expertise, get mentors in the business, right? Learn different things. If you don't know something, look it up.
If you do have an opportunity to work like Carl saying at an organization like a landlord, what I used to do when I was at Woolbright is I'd go spend an hour with the acquisitions guys, I'd go spend an hour with the accounting department, I'd go spend an hour with property management on a weekly basis, just have lunch with them, pick their brain. You want to know this, and you'll find that a lot of those people that are, you know, sitting at a desk all day, they love to interact and tell you what they're doing, and you know, they still have more information than you. You can sit there and listen and absorb so much. That's how I learned a lot of what I know is from sitting with the different departments in our company. And if, like Carl said, if you're in acquisitions and they're not hiring anymore, but you've learned how to do the accounting or the leasing, you can do that. Like Laura's a perfect example. The company we were at had a marketing department. She was overseeing the marketing. They got rid of marketing and she had a lease, so they put her in leasing. So just, you want to be able to wear multiple hats. Don't get tunnel vision.
You know, also understand your company's objectives, right? So where's their goals? Where are they heading? My suggestion is you should know your company's elevator pitch, right? So if I'm talking to somebody in this room right now and I basically say, oh, tell me about your company. If you don't have it perfected down, learn it, understand it. Where's the company heading to? Also, if you're leasing space on behalf of landlords or you are the landlord, how many people know their budgets? What they're asking for each space? What their expenses are going to be? What their CAM is? What their taxes are? What their insurance are? Anybody know what their anchor sales are per square foot annual price? If I were to call someone up today and say, hey, this shopping center, what is your triple net, basically your cam tax insurance? What is your base rent? What does that equal to monthly? You got to understand your kind of your audience, right? If I'm talking to the national tenant, the regional tenants, I'm basically saying we're $20 a square foot, triple net. Our triple nets are $10 a foot, right? If you're talking to a local tenant, you say that, what's going to happen?
They're not gonna know what you're talking about.
They have no idea what you're talking about. So what happens? So what are we doing instead of that? What are we saying?
It's $6,000 a month.
$6,000 a month. And if you say $6,000 a month plus sales tax, or does that include sales tax?
Whatever it is.
Right. So does anybody know that all commercial real estate, that when the tenant pays, they pay commercial, they pay sales tax on top of that?
And more.
In
Plus
Florida,
it's
you
an
do.
outdraw.
So I used to have a spreadsheet, and it had all my shopping centers, all my vacancies, and I had, I can't see that far, but she's got one there. But it used to tell me, here's my base rent, no, basically say, here are my shopping center name, here's where it's located, here's the zip code, here's the sales tax for this area. Then it used to say, here's my vacancy, the square footage, and if we have a floor plan and it tells you it's a space 1 or space AOF, I usually put it where that is because it's funny times. They'll call you up and say, how much is space AOF? And you're like, what? How much is space 3? What? So have it all out there. And I used to always put the base rent, the triple nets, and then I used to say, here's my monthly gross rent, and here's it is with sales tax. So when I'm talking to a local tenant, I'm not saying $6,000 plus sales tax. The first question they're going to ask you is, what? Why am I paying sales tax? I just want to rent the space. So I'd say it's $6,200 a month. They used to have my budget there, so I know exactly what my budget is. And they say, well, why am I going to this shopping center? Well, have you ever been to Publix before? Do you know how much foot traffic they bring in? Let me tell you. So I used to break it down by what their sales are and break that down into foot traffic per week. And when you talk to your manager at Publix and you ask them, what's your foot traffic? How many people do you bring in a week? You can kind of figure out their sales based on that.
So, Carl, one of the benefits of working for a landlord, I mean, we're a full-service brokerage firm, so we don't have salary, we don't have the benefits, you know, but what's nice about that is, as Carl said, as working for a landlord, you've got that, you know, you're in the middle spot here. Being a broker, the limit on what you can make is up to you. You know, the sky's the limit, and you eat what you kill. So you don't want to be, a lot of brokers in the industry are very reactive, where they'll sit around with the phone ring, and you got to be proactive. You know, go after. You know, we do a 10-minute, every time we get a shopping center release, we'll do a 10 mix analysis, and it's got, you know, probably 200 something uses on it, and we'll figure out what uses are missing in the area, what are popular uses, and those are. Then we start making phone calls, we go canvassing. You know, Beth Azor, she's a great person to follow if you're looking to get into leasing. You know, social media is very good at a young age with you guys looking to get in. You definitely want to build your personal brand. I highly recommend using social media. It's what's helped us get to where we are today. Not only by building relationships locally, but you know, throughout the country. I have people from California, New York, all across the country that refer stuff to us all the time, because of just posts they've seen us put on social media. You're going to put a lot of time into it. I mean, I definitely work more than I, you know, when I had a salary, you know, you go home, you know, you're still making money the next day. With being a broker, you've got to go after the deals. You've got to, you know, you got to find the opportunity. We've got 2 young kids at home, so, you know, I typically try and get home at 5 or 6, hang out with them for a little bit. By the time they go to bed, though, I'm on the computer again, you know, until 11, 12 o'clock at night some nights. But I enjoy it. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. We've got a great team together, and constantly trying to grow it. So, like I said, building a network is big. One of the benefits of with the social media is there's a lot of guys in here that I've met today that I've never met personally, but know me because of social media. And a lot of the pitches that we go into, I feel like I've already got a leg up on everybody, because if I'm pitching to a guy who's followed me on social media for the last year, he knows what my kids have been doing. My son has scored a soccer goal. He does dance competitions my daughter was in. Meanwhile, the other guys who aren't on social, he has no idea who they are, they're pitch business, and I've got a relationship with the guy who, I probably wouldn't have had. And, 5 minutes into it, I know I've got the listing, I don't say another word, we're walking away with it. So I definitely recommend getting on social. Share knowledge. A lot of the old guys in the industry won't share knowledge. They feel like everything, they're going to lose a deal if they share. And I tell all of our agents and myself, if we have a shopping center across the street, I want to know what Carl needs. If he needs a barber shop, if he needs a nail salon, if he needs a grocery store. Because if somebody's calling me to go to a barber shop and I already got a barber shop, we say, hey, call Carl across the street. And I'm hoping with doing that, he's going to do the same thing for me. You'll find a lot of guys in the world. And I said in brokerage, you'll be surprised where deals come from. It'll be, I have people that I went to the middle school that I've seen in 20-something years, but because they've seen it on social, hey, my grandfather's looking to buy this, or he's looking to do this, and we get deals, that just come about a little. With the acquisitions too, you'll see that a lot, where you'll find out that some kid you went to school with, his family owns 30 McDonald's, and you never knew that. And hey, we want to go out and buy more McDonald's, and there's an acquisition aspect where you go in and help them, buy more McDonald's and investment sales. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. Just really come on, what you have your mind to do, what you want to do.
Is everybody on LinkedIn? Okay. My suggestion, especially for the people in college right now, get our business cards. Connect with someone on LinkedIn. We know a lot of people in the industry, right? So first thing you guys get done, you're going to a job interview, right? One thing you want to do in a job interview is get a commonality with somebody, right? What do we have in common? Well, if you connect with us on LinkedIn, we may have a connection that has a lead to whoever you're interviewing with, right? You want to be able to set yourself apart from the crowd. How are you doing that? If you're, a lot of times it's digital right now, due to COVID and everything else, but if it's in person, a firm handshake goes a long way. I gotta tell you, so many people come to me and say, hey, how you doing? Or they'll basically just try to strong arm your hand. I'm like, really? Firm handshake, once, twice, done. Easy as can be. And when I get that firm handshake, especially from a female, I gotta tell you, it blows my mind. Where now you've got me engaged, right? It's everything else. That's what I'm kind of looking for. Do your due diligence on the company, right? Who are you interviewing with? If you come to them, the first question they're going to ask you is, what do you know about our company? If you're like, nothing, tell me more about it, out the door, right? Because we're actually hiring right now, and I'm going through the same process. I want to know they did their due diligence on my company. I'm going to ask them questions. Well, what did you find out about us? Have you heard anything from anybody outside of our company about our company and what your thoughts are? Do your homework. Trust me, it'll go a long way. They're going to ask you questions such as, why should we hire you? Make sure you have your pitch ready to go. They're going to ask you, what are your strengths? What do you bring to the table for us, right? So tell them this is your time to brag. Talk about why they should hire you, right? And the flip side of it, they're going to ask you the same question. What are your weaknesses? And the answers I get, I don't have one. It's a great question. I knew you were going to ask that. Let me think about that. Well, hell, if you knew I was going to ask the question, right? So why don't we think about this in advance? Perfect ones. I need to stay more organized. I do everything myself, not really delegator. Those are questions that are like, I get it, it's a weakness, but not 100%. Come prepared yourself, right? Ask questions at the end of the interview, right? So when they ask you, give me questions for us. So many people go, no, I'm good, thanks. Not interested, right? I want people that are engaged. Ask questions. And I always say is, there's no stupid question until it's asked, right? So don't ask stupid questions that's right there on the website that you can actually look at it. But ask questions to them itself. Maybe it's as simple as, hey, if the person you're looking to hire for the position, what are you expecting out of the first month? What are you expecting in the first 90 days? What are you expecting in the first year? If it's someone that's replacing an existing person, maybe it's like, why did that last person not make it in your eyes? Right? What could he or she have done differently? Come up with some good questions. And if you don't know what they are, get our business cards. He's hired people, he's interviewed people, I've done it too. I'm actually in the interview process right now for account executive, in the area. So I'm going through the whole stuff right now, and I can tell you, there's people that come up to us, and I just throw them out the window because they don't know anything about our company. They haven't done their due diligence, so trust me, do your due diligence.
I won't say who it is, but there's a person in the literally, if you call for an interview and you ask her what her address is or what her contact is, she'll tell you never mind, not interested. Because in this business, you've got to show that a lot of it is research. And so if you don't have, if you're not looking for the research in, you'll never make your way out. So it's, I've seen some good people lose out, some good opportunities just because of that question. So definitely, like Carl said, know who you're talking to, know your audience. That's a big thing we stress is know your audience. You've got to know how to talk to somebody, who you're talking to, what they can, what you can say, what you can't say. And everybody's different. It's, everybody, I've got some clients I can talk to, like they're my friend that I've grown up with, since I was 10 years old. And we've got some clients who I may have known that long, but I still have to be obviously very professional. And so, you want to keep everything professional. I think one thing Carl says is it's not who you know, but who knows you.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? So I can go in the room right now, or I can talk to anyone and be like, oh, I know so-and-so. That's great. So they're going to talk to that person. Hey, I just met Carl and so forth. And they go, who? Who is that? Carl Brinkman? I have no idea who that is, right? So it's not who you know, it's who knows you, right? I even got my team going, oh, Beth Azor is so great. I know Beth and everything else. Well, guess what? They called Beth Azor up, and she goes, I have no idea who this person is.
So one way, again, with social media to help you guys out with that is do a little video. And I hated doing videos the first one I started doing because post it, don't watch it, just do the video. But if you're looking to get into acquisitions, ask questions. Say, hey, looking to get in acquisitions, I'm curious, how does this work? Hashtags of acquisitions, CRE, do it, put it on LinkedIn. And guys like Carl and myself and everybody else in the industry that's in acquisitions is going to comment on there. And after seeing your videos of questions or even ideas, or even if you have seen a good acquisition, something you think is a good acquisition that may not be available, put a little video of this. Say, hey guys, this site would be great if somebody bought it and turned it into a little strip center or something like that. What do you guys think? Just little things like that, and I guarantee you'll get your name out there. And then next time you're sitting in with an interview with Carl or one of the other guys in the industry, I guarantee they've seen your videos on LinkedIn or Instagram or something like that. And it's, again, who knows you, not always who you know. So,
any questions? Anybody else have any questions they want to ask?
Should we get your business cards, right?
Yeah,
Have
absolutely.
it up there or with someone else?
Always have mine until you run out. Then we'll get some more. But yeah, absolutely. Come on up here if you guys want, and then if you have any questions you want to ask us in person, you're more than welcome to do that. Grab my business card, connect with us on LinkedIn, right? And just kind of simple. I'm not going to know who you are. We're meeting with people out there right now, so say, hey, I met you at your Lending Symposium. Want to connect with you? I'll connect with you right away. And then you'll have all my connections that we're connected with as well. So when you guys are getting ready to go out in the world and get a job and do some job interviews, call me up. Just kind of say, hey, I met you at the Retail Summit. Can I ask some questions? What are some questions you asked during the interview process, before and after the show?
find a mentor too, and so my office is open if you guys ever want to come in and shadow. But not only me, a lot of the guys in the industry will let you guys come in and sit there for a couple hours or a couple days and just kind of get to know the process and how things are. Even if they're not hiring, they'll still let you come in the front door and kind of introduce you to different parts. So don't be afraid to ask that. Like if there's a company you know of that you'd love to work for one day or you just know of, call and ask if you can come in and chat with somebody for a couple hours or something. Guarantee 90% of the time I'm tell you yes, I'm not going to tell you no. So I know with COVID and everything, it was a little challenging over the last couple of years, but everything's kind of opening back up again. So definitely fortunate. So.
Perfect. Well, we appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much. And again, if you have any questions, come on up here and talk to us, okay?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.